Governor Larry Hogan recently announced plans to completely transform transit in Baltimore with the introduction of a new bus system called CityLink. One of the services on the way to the new plan is the QB40 bus, and MTA Director of Service Development, Michael Walk, joins us with a look at this route. Welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining us with Commuter Connections.
Glad I could be here.
So now tell us, what is the Quick Bus 40 or QB40?
So the Quick Bus or QB40 is a route that operates along an east-west alignment. On the west side, it goes as far as the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and Security. And on the east side, it goes as far as Middle River. And just recently, we had enhanced service on the QB40 on the west side of that route between CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and City Hall.
Now, with the enhancements that were in place, is that part of this whole transit improvement plan for Baltimore that the governor recently announced?
Exactly. You know what? MTA wanted to do something fast and quick to meet a need that we know was already there. And we really needed more service on that west side of the 40. There's major job centers along that corridor, including the Social Security Administration and CMS. And that part of the QB40 also ties in with three of our rail modes, MARC, Metro, and Light Rail. So it's an important job connection area as well on the west side of the 40. And so it was sort of a first installment on the vision of Baltimore Link and the CityLink routes.
So just in general, how long has QB40 service existed?
The QB40 has actually started many, many years ago. And it was envisioned as a faster type service in order to get, it stops less often than other routes, and it gets people from one side of the city to the other faster. This enhanced service actually started October 25th, just a few days after the governor's announcement, and so far it's been a very successful service.
That's great. So when you talk about enhancements, getting people from one place to another faster, how often are the QB40 buses running, roughly?
Yeah, so they're scheduled to operate about every 10 minutes during most of the day on weekdays, and every 10 to 15 minutes on weekends. And that's an improvement over the current schedule of the 40. But the more buses per hour, that's only on the west side of the route.
Oh, okay. So now what is the cost to ride the QB40, and roughly how many people use the service? Oh,
good. Yeah, the QB40 costs the same as every other bus route we have, just the typical base fare, the $1.70 to get on one way, or the option to purchase a day pass or use a pass product. And in terms of the number of people that are using it, we gathered the ridership numbers, and in fact, the new service has increased ridership on the 40. So when we compare October ridership to November ridership, we see now about 1,000 more people a day riding the QB40 on weekdays, on Saturdays, and on Sundays. In fact, on weekdays, we're up to about 11,000 people a day riding the QB40.
That's great. Yeah. So the enhanced service is really attracting a lot more people.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be attracting more people.
That's great. So now if someone is catching the QB40, does that bus look any different than any of the other MTA local buses?
So it depends. The QB40 buses that are just on the normal route are just your typical MTA bus. The QB40 buses that are part of the enhanced service or the added trips actually have colored destination signs. So as the bus approaches you, you'll see red and yellow on the top of the bus above the windshield, and you'll know that those are the added buses above and beyond what's already scheduled on the QB40.
So what's the plan for QB40 once, Baltimore Link is fully implemented, this new transit improvement plan we were talking about?
Yeah, sure. The Baltimore Link plan, changes about every bus route in the system as we currently have it proposed. And on this corridor, the Baltimore Link plan actually starts two new CityLink routes. One's called the CityLink Blue, one the CityLink Orange, each serving different portions of the city. The west side would be the blue line, and the east side would be the orange line. But basically, they serve the same major corridors on both sides of the city as the current QB40 does.
So we're starting with enhancements on the west side. What are other plans for the Baltimore area regarding QB40?
That's a good question. The west side enhancements was really sort of our first installment or our pilot test. In fact, we're actually adding additional shelters and other bus stop enhancements on that corridor. And really, we see this as basically a pilot test for the future CityLink service. CityLink routes will come about every 10 minutes. during rush hour and 15 minutes in the middle of the day. So this QB40, this focused investment on the west side, is really our first installment towards better service as a whole under the Baltimore Link plan. And this is helping us kind of work out any kinks that we have to make sure that when we implement the rest of the CityLink services, we do it right.
Okay. And it sounds like, you're well on your way to bringing better and improved services.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
To the citizens of Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Great. So thank you for joining us.